So if you don't have, I'm sharing my screen. Just bear with me let me just share my screen. Okay. So the first thing you need to do is to create an Edmodo classroom account if you don't have one. But for me, I do have an Edmodo account. So I'm going to just walk you through briefly so you know what to look for. So I'll type in Edmodo in the search bar. And as I said, because I have an Edmodo account, I have Edmodo accounts. You will see several. Here is my Edmodo account. And when you're in this, you're gonna you're gonna create this classroom. I would have created this classroom, and always examine what a platform is. Look at each element, try to understand the elements, don't get flustered, and note that these things do change. Technology is not static, and every now and then you have to change for updates. You have to double check, look for updates. So I've already set up this account. So what's the next thing I'm gonna do? I have my profile here. I can log out if I want and then create a new one and go back and forth. But I don't think time will permit me to do all of that. But I'm gonna walk you through briefly and then go straight to the area that is of importance to you. I select on my left-hand side, it says classes, it's in my classes. So I'm gonna select all classes because I wanna see what is here. And on this screen here, the screen that pops up to the right-hand upper corner, you will see a blue icon and it says create. What is it you're creating? You want to create a class. So you're creating your class or you're joining a class. As a school, if the school is using this learning management system, it is easy for all of you to just join a class. So the school will have the account and each teacher will have his or her own account. And all you need to do is to join. If the school doesn't have an account, it's okay. You can set up your individual classrooms. But let's assume that the school has 7 teachers. So 7 teachers will have their 7 different accounts, but the kids can join the classrooms if the teacher is teaching more than one subject. All right. But if it's a single subject teacher, and primary school, you teach all the subjects. So you just create one classroom, or you create one classroom with several sections. You create a class for science, math, social studies, maybe English, whatever it is. So you use this. You come here, the upper right hand, where the plus sign is for the create, dark blue icon, tap on it. I want to create a class. I'll tap on create a class. And you give your class a name. I'm going to say roses. And you select the grade. And for those who know about Edmodo, just bear with me for those who don't know anything about Edmodo. Science, I'll select science. And you can change the color. And this color is because if you have many classes, the color code helps in order to identify your class quickly. So that's it. Let me put basic science. And I hit on creating the class. Now, what is important is that you're adding students to this particular class. And in adding students to this class, You, the teacher, it depends on the level. You will have to put in the accounts for the students themselves, or sometimes the students are a little more witty than you. I'm sorry, but they were able to get an account, or you ask the parents for an account and you create that. So you create a class. Include the names of the students. So if you care to join this class, you can send your email address and I'll put in the email. I'll put in your email. So, and then as you put in the email, automatically this will store, because this is a cloud-based platform. This information will be stored in the cloud. Now, what is the next thing after you finish including all the email addresses? You invite a student, or you invite a teacher, you invite the head teacher or your deputy, whoever you're going to invite. So you need to use a code. And this code is important. This code is important. Guys, are you seeing the code? 5YJ2T3? Are you seeing the code?
Yes, miss.
All right, good. Good. So this is the code that you need to share. You're sharing this code with your students. You're sharing the code with your principal, whoever. You share, so that they're going to get access to your class. Remember to secure it is locked. So everything is stored in there. And you hit done. Because I've already hit to share. So once you shared, you know you have 20 students. The 20 students are going to be there. They all have their access. They have their individual email, but they all have access to this class. And you create this class. In the interest of time, I want to go quickly. I'm going to go home. And I will select a class that I already have. So I'm going to select a class that was already created. So when you finish creating, you already submitted you share the key, and you're now working here. You're working on your class. This is the face of your class. This is how this particular platform will look. This platform, as is, it's an engaging, it's an interactive platform. You can add things to it. You add a sentence, you put a picture, anything you can add to this platform so that your students can get on board at any time and use it. It would always be here. It's not going to go anywhere only if you delete it. And what is good about these platforms? Kids can learn synchronously or asynchronously. The information will always be there. So at no time they cannot say, oh, we were on Zoom and we were knocked off, or we went to Edmodo or whichever platform, and it's the same thing for Google Classroom. Oh, I went to Google Classroom. No, the information is there. So as a teacher, you structure your work in such a way, and you add it. You add it to folders right in this classroom, and it's locked there where the students get access to it. So what we need to do, we need to create, our focus is on how to create quizzes using the different tools, the different platforms. So here you go back to create, because I'm already in the class. I go click on create, and I'm creating two things, either an assignment or a quiz. So for now, I'm creating a quiz. So I click on new, or I can load an existing quiz. So if you have an existing quiz, just upload your existing quiz. So let us see if we can just click on new. And your quiz is your test, right? Giving you details of the quiz, science. I'm going to just put test 1. And instructions. So you say exactly what the instructions are. You just write out your instructions and go through it. Now in the upper right hand corner, you have preview and you have assign. Right now, all we would have done is to give a description of the quiz. The next step is for you to continue to add your test questions. But you may want to see what the students would see. So you go up and you click on preview, and I tap on preview. And it will say an error because nothing is there. Nothing is in there. So I close and I go back now to add quiz questions. And you're going to add your quiz questions. The trick in this of setting up test items, and please note all cloud-based software that you use when it comes to matching and filling the blanks. If let us say the answer is supposed to be instruction and it's lowercase I, and the child types in uppercase I, that is wrong, but it is right because it is instructions, right? And it's all caps and it's supposed to be in lowercase. So you have to be careful of the type of test items you are going to use, the structure when it comes to soft-based to do testing online. I will encourage you to test it out first, try it and make sure this is what you need and it is okay for your learners. And please don't feel that because they're in little lower schools, they wouldn't be able to use it. They'll be able to use it, right? So whatever test items you want to set, here is where you go and you select it. Fill in the blank, you have true and false, multiple choice, short answer, matching, multiple answers. Let us look at little at matching. And why matching? Matching deals with drag, you have to grab, it's a drag and drop. And you must note that if this paper, let us say it's 10 marks for this paper, and you have question 1 with four matching questions, here you have to know, is it 1 point a question here or 2 points, and then you're going to break it down. So you have to be careful when it comes to matching, right? So let us look at, I'm going to look at some responses. The test question here is, let me say environment. Arrange in order. Right? And I write out whatever to arrange in order, and I put some villages. I put Grove. I have to put Golden Grove. And then I'm going to put, I'm on the East Bank, right? So I'm going to say Golden Grove, Houston. Another village, Friendship. Can you add more responses here? Yes. Go down to the bottom. It says the plus sign, plus add responses. You click on this, plus add more responses, and you add more responses. right? Can you add more? Yes, you can add more. And it goes on and on. So I have to put in another area supply. Right? Now, these are your answers. So you have to now assign, just like how let us assume this is one. This is one. Two will be, I'm going to put two here. Friendship. Maybe this is three. And this is four. All right. So there you have first item. But the grading points. Can this be 1 mark? What would be this mark? So was this particular item, test item, are you going to give them 6 points? Break it down. Are you going to give them 8 points and you break it down? Are you going to give them 4 points? What is it? So you'll have to change the structure, the grading system of the paper. I'm assuming that I'll put it to 4. Just put 4. Right? Add new questions. If you want to add more, you want to duplicate this type of question, you duplicate the structure. If not, you add new question and change the structure. So we can add new question or we can take it from the bank. Let me see if I have questions in the bank. I'm going to select questions from my bank. Let me see. I have some quiz questions somewhere. All right. You notice a change immediately. It says, when you add two numbers, it gives you a product of 7. All right. So I'm moving down to see what's going on. Here it is. Okay. Can I add more questions? Yes, you can add more questions and the process continues. Now, when you finish adding all your questions, the next thing is for you to assign these questions. So let me delete this here. Let me delete this one. It's not going to go through. All right. So what is the answer here? The answer should be 1. 1. What's the next answer? No, it's going to be 1, then 2. You've just put the answers. I was just adding it. Correct 3. And which one is 4? So this Golden Grove is 2. Houston is 1. So it has to go in order, right? Sorry. Golden Grove is 2. And it's 1. What is the other one? That's 3. And the next one is 4. Right? Now, you preview to see what's going on. And this you add because there's 4 responses. And if there's 4 responses, the choice has got to be 5. You have to have 5 matching. One must be hanging. Right? So you cannot complete matching with just 4. If it's 4 questions, 4 matching, no, you have to add something else. So that is how you go back and forth, and then you exit it and you make sure if it isn't correct, you just make the changes and that's it. And when you finish all of that, then you assign your questions. You assign the quiz. I can only assign the quiz. This is my class. And I'm assigning it to this class, and I can add the name, I can assign it to my students individually because I have their email addresses. So when you're assigning this quiz or your test, the date is important. That you must know that I need to select my date. I need to lock my test. I can open it. What is the time limit? So you have all of that in place. So based on the scope of the test, you will now have to decide as the teacher, what's the best time to lock this test? What's the best time to open this test? What's the time limit for this test? So I'm assuming that I'm going to lock this test after the due date because the due date was given. Please note, although you lock the test after the due date, you have the power to unlock the test if your student missed the test. If your student starts the test and the child has bounced off, you have the power to fix it. All right? You can fix it because you will randomize your questions. You change your limit, the time limit, 60 minutes. This is default, so you can just change it. Others, I'm changing it to 30 minutes, right? It is a default time. And what are you going to do? Always randomize your questions. Always randomize your questions. Because once you randomize your questions, the tool, the software is going to shuffle the questions. So at no time, one child is going to get answer the same number one. But you have to be careful when it comes to multiple choice. Not multiple choice, sorry, matching. Because when you randomize the questions, you are going to get issues with matching. So if you're doing a paper with matching, do a paper with matching. Right? So there are some gray areas. You want to add it to a grade book? Add it to the grade book. It's not going to kill you. So what happens when you add it to the grade book? You export that sheet as an Excel sheet. And when you export a sheet as an Excel sheet, you see the performances of all the students across. Right? So whatever, and these are new, like show scores upon completion. If you want the child to see the score when they've completed it, just go ahead. So you check it. If not, you just uncheck it. And for me, I would uncheck it because you're not giving them the opportunity to cross-reference what took place. And why I get this question wrong? Because you don't know if all your students were able to complete the test. So to avoid confusion, you just eliminate it. And when they finish the test, and you, the teacher, satisfied that everyone would have answered, had an opportunity to do the test, then you can release it. You can show all the complete or the correct answers. You can let them have it because they'll always go back and forth into the classroom. And when you finish, you assigned your test. You assigned it. You can assign it now, or you can assign it at a later date. But you make sure you set up the parameters and you assign the test to the learners. And this is how it goes for conducting online tests using this platform or the learning management system, Edmodo. For me, I love this. It's very student friendly, but remember my focus is on testing. Right, so for Edmodo, I will stop here. And if you have any questions, you want me to go over anything, I'm stopping here for a few minutes and then I'll move on. Any question, comments, anything you want me to touch on before I move forward on Edmodo? Because that's it for testing when it comes to Edmodo? Do you want me to do anything else when it comes to Edmodo and testing?
Thank you very much so far, ma'am. What about adding of pictures? Is there a
Yeah,
feature on Edmodo that we can use to add pictures? If you had shared it, I missed it. So I'm asking
I
if you.
didn't share it, but there are features. So I'll go back.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Thanks. Anything else?
Not at the moment, miss.
Not at the moment. All right. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you. So you're creating a test and you want to add pictures, right? Sorry. Now, where you're adding pictures, here are your answers. If you want to add the picture at the answer area, there is an icon will pop up to show an indication that you can add picture. But if you want to add a picture to the stem of itself, where are you taking the picture from? You can add a link. You can add, and this is in a multiple choice test. This is in a multiple choice area. You can add a link. So I click on link and I'm going to pull in something from offline. Let me go and pull in. Just put in for you quickly. Nothing. Sorry. 1 minute, right? Because I'm toggling between screens. Let me just stop here and locate this. 1 minute. Where is this? Oh. All right, sorry. I'm back with you. Now you want to add, I've just added a link, right? You click on, I clicked on add link, and and I went externally onto Google. I search for what I want and I bring it in. Because it is a link I've brought in, because it's a link. If you look at the bottom here, can you see it shows a link icon and it says google.com? Are you with me? Yeah. Good. And it says one attachment. So I would have attached a picture. I brought it in via a link, but I want to bring in something from a file. So I'm going to attach a file. And here I have a picture. And this is what it looks like, because this is my picture I would have attached from a file. And then I put all my answers. Whatever's the response, I put them. Now I can also add an image to my response. All right. So I'm going to go to website, see what I have here. Oh, what's going on? You can also add an image from your library once you have it set up. If not, you just bring in the picture from your file. Or if I want, I can bring in a picture from the library, or I bring in a picture via a link. So I'll go to the library. Something that I have in here. Okay, let me just pull something. Right, so there are some attachments here, right? There are 3 attachments in the question area. So you have 3 images. I have one, a visual as is, and the others are links. One link directly from the library and the other from the web. And then you put in your responses, whatever is your answers, you put them in, and always remember that the very first response or the very first answer is always a default. So if I put, this is 1, and I put this, sorry, not 1. As I said, this is 1, 2. Notice the little area in the circles already checked, but the correct answer is 2. And this is 6. So you have to make the changes and give it a grade point. Maybe I put 4. Whatever is the test, you know your item, and that's it. And I want to see some things. I'm going to preview my test. Preview. Go on. Next. All right. Remember, this is the one where I add. So I want to see this link. So I tap on the link to provide the instructions. You have to tap on the link. It's going to take you. All right. Remember, it was a flower I brought in. So I just pull the flower. And there it is. And I'll go exit preview. And that's it. And that's it. Any other questions? Any other thing you want me to show you when it comes to this test on Edmodo? That's it, Miss Hamilton.
Yes, Miss. Thank you so much. Well, very clear.
All right. Any other? That's it? Good. Any other? No? All right. Oh, my screen is a bit blurred. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. Okay, as I move on, you just let me know if the screen is still blurred, right? I'm sorry. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to touch based on is Google Where is it? We're gonna look a little. You said Google Classroom, right? Now in Google Classroom, and not everyone uses Google Classroom, but for the sake of this meeting, I'll just browse through it so that you see exactly where, when it comes to the use of Google Classroom, especially for those who have not used Google Classroom or have intention using Google Classroom, what you will have to do when it comes to testing. All right? If you don't have a Gmail account, that's okay. So I'm going to share my screen again. Share my screen. And Miss Hamilton, you will let me know if it's a bit blurred, right? If it's still blurry.
Okay, Miss.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I just want to share. Alrighty. Okay, so I am going through my email. If you don't have a Gmail account, it's fine. You can download it offline. It is there. You go to the Google Marketplace, and Google Marketplace, all the apps are there, or stems of Google, and you get it there. They're free. So I'm gonna go with these. It looks like a waffle, but they're Google apps, or there's a setting. So I'm gonna click on the apps, and I'm moving down in this app because I'm tap on it. Just color code. That's the way it goes. So look, it's green. You always look. What are the colors? It's a green and yellow. So sorry, all these things will pop up. But in Google Classroom, always look, I want to create a classroom. So I'm going to look up top. There's a plus sign upper right. I tap on the classroom, on that plus sign. I'm not joining a class. I'm creating a class. So you're assuming that's the first time you're doing this, right? And we name our class. Name your class, Rosa, maybe science. And no, maths. Subject science. Right. And room 1. And I hit create, right?
Range test mode.
Oh, shucks. Sorry. All right. So for the purpose of this activity, I quickly give it a name, plants, and this is your class code. Remember, an Edmodo class code was given. And here is another code. And the code is to prevent hackers from hacking into your system. So when you give your
system ready.
So when you give your students the code, it is just you and them. As if they give out the code, and you now have to make sure that you put measures in place to siphon off boomers and fishers, because they're fishing and they're booming, right? So you need to get rid of that. So you in your class, and we're in the classroom, and we want to see what's going on. I don't know what's happening in this classroom. Nothing is here. I can't see anything, nothing. So we know it is a flat, empty shell. Class. Empty shell. So this is my class. I'm going back. Classes. I'm finding roses. If you see roses before me, just say, I'm not seeing. Oh, somewhere here. All right, good. So this is the shell. Now look up top, stream, classwork, people, grades. Our focus is on how to use this platform to create tests or to administer tests. So I go straight to classwork. And classwork, it shows clearly. I tap on classwork and the window pops up. What you're going to do, you're assigning your work right here. You're creating your assignments, questions, whatever you're going to do. Here is where you have to do it. You can create a class drive folder. All your work for the class is in the drive. So I click on create. What is it you are creating? You want to create, oh, sorry. You want to create an assignment. You want to create a quiz. Sorry. What is it you are creating? It is here.
Mrs. Rima, what's happening?
I am not sure, Miss. I noticed Miss is off, and
She has made
I am
you
not
the host.
Miss was again knocked off the net.
I guess so.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't know if she's what she's coming on back. She's joining. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The computer went down. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
Oh my God. I didn't realize it didn't charge. All right. So spare me a minute. Let me get back the screen. Where it was here. Share. Okay. I'm sharing my screen. I'm sorry. So this is where we left off, right? Good. So we want to create you have to know what task you are creating. And there's an opportunity for you to select what you want to do. You want to select an assignment, you want to do a quiz assignment. Always remember that the quiz, the word is quiz, but it's your test. So I'm gonna click on the quiz assignment, and then you will see look what is happening on the right hand corner. Come. On the right hand corner, it's going to give you all the names of all your students, right? You will see them, you will know if intruders are in your class, and you know you're in the right class. Once the score, how many points you plan to give to this quiz, you put all the information in. Due date, and it's the same as Edmodo. You need to put in your due date. Whatever is the due date, you put your due date in. Due date. Time is optional. In this case now, if you put your rubric, it depends on what type of test you are putting. Because if you're doing a written test like language, there is no need to upload a rubric because you will have to grade that yourself. Right? You will have to grade that yourself. And you are now about to create your test. You're creating the test in Google Forms. So it is a blank quiz. So you look for Google Forms. Now, if you don't have a Google Classroom and you want to use Google Forms to create a quiz, you can do it. Because the Google Form is there as one of the apps in the Google Marketplace. So this is a blank quiz. Examine, look what's happening. This is how you're going to structure your quiz. Just like Edmodo, you put in your information, whatever is your quiz. You put in your information. Someone will want to know, can I add an image? Yes, I can add my image. Just like Edmodo. So I'm going to add an image. I'm going to, where I want to add an image from. I can upload it, I can browse, I can select an image from anywhere. So let me see what I have in my drive. Oh, not add a photo, sorry. That's fine said. And there is the image. How do you feel? All right. Now I would have included other extensions because for me, I always think ahead, hoping that or thinking, I'm not sure who are my learners. So I would have included an extension or added an extension where I can do the same as, how do you feel today? Look at the image. And we cancel it and do it properly. It's a move. So I say, how do you feel today? What can you say about the image? Right? And it's done. So there are two things going on here in Google. And I cannot do this. I cannot do this in Edmodo. But I was able to add the extension to Google. So for those students who have issues, they see and they hear. You want me to play it so you can hear?
Yes, miss. Yes.
You wear it. All right, you're gonna hear it, right? Good. So whatever you want to do, you add whatever options you want to put in for your questions, whatever you want to do, you dress up your questions, add all the information here. Here we're gonna do another, you wanna do a multiple choice, just select what type of question you're going to do. Short answers, drop down boxes, whatever you're gonna do, all the information, you just select, you just select the style or the type of question that you're going to use, and just check the box, just select, and then you add your information. I'm adding information here. And when you finish, I put 1 and I put 7. Sorry. Next, I put, come on. I put 4. I put 8. And it goes on and on. And I don't need this extra. It's there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. What is the answer key? So you give it the answer. Is your points? Make sure you add your points. Is this question 2 points, 4 points, whatever it is, and you score. Google would have made life so easy for us. So teachers, I'm encouraging you, select a tool that you know, although I am using phone, or although I am using computer only, for my students, I have to use WhatsApp. Just remember, when you finish designing these questions, because the students are on WhatsApp and you are sharing these links to them, let me just translate. And you are sharing these links to them. When you hit send, I'll send it to myself, put in my email. You see, it says the quiz is blank, right? But when you hit send, all your students have to do, although they're I'm using WhatsApp. No, they're using internet, because WhatsApp is internet. It's internet based. So they can download that quiz. And once they download it, they get access to the quiz, they're gonna get it done. So you don't have to take out a picture, send it, and no, you now have to teach them how to download work, how to not really download, how to open it on the phone, how to open it on their phones, and when they finish opening it, they hit send to you, or it's closed off, that's it, and you get it. It's done. Right? So here it is similar to Edmodo. All you need to do, you're adding videos. What you're adding, you're splitting the section, this test into two. You split it. Here it's a splitter. And all of that is on your right-hand corner along the page that you're working on. So I'm splitting it in two. So the first section is about numbers, and the second section, maybe it's about lettering or what have you. So you just you can split it. It's not important, but you have to know what is important to you and how you want to design your test. But here is where you go and you create. These are the questions. You're creating your test here for Google Classroom. And when you finish creating your test, you just send your test to your students, and that's it. But you're using Google Form. So you don't have to use Google Classroom to create a question, to create test items. You can go straight to Google Forms and pull it and get it done. And I want to show you how to get that done quickly. Are we okay here so far? No, but it's not concrete because I went to details in Edmodo, but it's the same approach here. Are you okay here? Any questions for
Yes,
me?
Miss. Okay.
You're okay here? No questions? All right. So let me go.
Miss,
Yeah.
I have one question. Can you go back over how you put in the correct answer that you're looking for?
Okay, no problem. Any other?
Yes, Miss. One question. I am not sure if it's far-fetched or so, but if I've already done my test in Microsoft Word, is there a way where I can just forward
Upload
it,
it.
upload it and done? Or do I have to sit and actually retype all my tests in Google Classroom or even a Edmodo?
You don't have to retype it. You just have to upload your test. If you you have the remember the first thing. Okay, I'll go through it. Any other? Any other pointers, questions, comments, anything else? No? All right. I'll answer the last question first, right? Let me close this. And let me close this. All right. This is your drive. And this is your drive. This is not the student's drive. So you would have created your your test already. And I want my test. I need my test to work with. You upload your test. You upload your test. Go to your drive. Oh, are you seeing my screen? Am I sharing the screen with you? Yes, it should.
Yes, Miss.
Yes, Miss.
Yes. So you go and you pull your test in via your drive. So the information now is in your drive. But you now will have to literally cut and paste that information where you need it in the test. But the work is already in your drive. It's there. You don't have to retype it. So if you had it in Microsoft Word, just upload it in your drive. I'm in the drive and I go to new. I tap on new and I'm gonna upload a folder or I upload a file. So I'm gonna upload something. You're lying. No.
Miss?
Oh God. Oh God. Oh. Oh God. Oh.
Should we end this session here? Something as
Yeah,
well?
yeah. Ooh.
Okay, I'm sorry.
God.
I'm sorry to hear. All right, thank you so much, Miss. We'll meet at some other time. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay, Miss. All right.
Oh
Okay, Miss.
my.
Teachers, we'll meet at